Gang, we here. What's good? It's your boy Ghetto. How are you? How's it going? Hope all is well in your world. Hope all is well in your neck of the woods. Not gonna belabor the point too much. You know, we here for part two. Let's go. United States and JAiPAC. We're gonna take care of a little business. And we're gonna jump into it, man. We got a lot more ground to cover before we get to the end. Let's get to it. Yeah, family.
Disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
You know it do. Let's start off light, man. Fair use. Let's go.
The United States is on the verge of enacting legislation for the largest military aid package to a foreign country in U.S. history. The package is a staggering $38 billion. The United States is on the verge of enacting legislation for the largest military aid package to a foreign country in U.S. history. The package is a staggering $38 billion aid to Israel, with the amount likely to go up in future years. Last week, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul placed a hold on the bill. The senator is now facing backlash from several pro-Israel groups. Senator Paul responded to his critics in an exclusive statement to Jewish Insider, saying, "I'm not for foreign aid in general. If we are going to send aid to Israel, it should be limited in time and scope, so we aren't doing it forever. And it should be paid for by cutting the aid to people who hate Israel and America." He wrote, "This is a stance I've taken for many years." Senator Paul, "If we are going to send aid to Israel, it should be limited in time and scope, so we aren't doing it forever. And it should be paid for by cutting the aid to people who hate Israel and America." He wrote, "This is a stance I've taken for many years." Senator Paul may filibuster against it if the bill goes to a vote. The current bill has been in process for several months now and is reaching its final stages. Joining me now is Executive Director, If Americans Knew, Allison Ware. Thank you so much for joining me today.
38
Thank you for having
billion.
me.
Allison, I want to start with asking you, how much money do you think would actually go into Israel under this current legislation? I mean, the numbers are saying 38 billion, could go up. What do you think the numbers will be at?
It will be a minimum of $38 billion over the next 10 years. It can go up, and if it can go up, it will go up, given that Israel partisans and donors and organizations are very influential with our political candidates. So the minimum will be $38 billion.
They're very influential with our political candidates. That's what I wanted you to hear. JAiPAC, part 2. Let's go.
8 billion could go up. What do you think the numbers will be at?
It will be a minimum of $38 billion over the next 10 years.
Dang.
It can go up, and if it can go up, it will go up.
If it
given
can
that
go
Israel,
up,
partisans
oh,
and
it's
donors
going up, baby.
And organizations are very influential with our political candidates. So the minimum will be $38 billion. That works out to $7,000 per minute from the United States to Israel.
$7,000
and also is about
a
$23,000
minute
per Jewish Israeli family of 4.
Allison Ware, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Allison, I want to start with asking you, how much money do you think would actually go into Israel under this current legislation? I mean, the numbers are saying 38 billion, could go up. What do you think the numbers will be at?
The
It will be a
United
minimum
States
of
of JAiPAC
$38 billion
part 2,
over the
baby.
next 10 years. It can go up, and if it can go up, it will go up, given that Israel partisans and donors and organizations are very influential with our political candidates. So the minimum will be minimum of $38 billion over the next 10 years. It can go up, and if it can go up, it will go up, given that Israel partisans and donors and organizations are very influential with our political candidates. So the minimum will be $38 billion. That works out to $7,000 per minute from the United States to Israel, and also is about $23,000 per Jewish Israeli family of 4. This is the kind of money we're talking about, but the U.S. media aren't telling people about it.
That's a lot of money, and like you said, this bill is something that the American people are not necessarily informed about. So if you can give us a little bit more information, are there any problems with this aid package?
There are quite a few problems. First of all,
I would argue there are 38 billion problems with this aid package, but what am I and who am I? Let's keep going.
The general American public already feels that we give Israel too much money. A survey a while ago showed that 60% of the respondents
not necessarily informed about. So if you can give us a little bit more information, are there any problems with this aid package?
Yeah, I just said there's 38 billion of them.
First of all, the general American public already feels that we give Israel too much money. A survey a while ago showed that 60% of the respondents said that we were already giving Israel too much money, even before it's now about to become even larger. This works out to this is about, on average, 7,000 times more per capita to Israelis than anyone else around the world. Another problem is it violates a number of U.S. laws that have been in place for a long time. These aren't enforced, but it violates U.S. laws. On top of that, Israel has a long record of human rights violations, of violating international law. So by funding Israeli actions, by giving Israel this massive amount of military aid, it will create more tragedy in the region and more hostility to Americans, quite likely. So there's a great deal that's problematic about this. So by funding Israeli actions, by giving Israel this massive amount of military aid, it will create more tragedy in the region and more hostility to Americans, quite likely.
Just in case y'all wasn't listening in the back of the room.
Funding Israeli actions, by giving Israel this violations of violating international law.
Let's go.
So by funding Israeli actions, by giving Israel this massive amount of military aid, it will create more tragedy in the region and more hostility to Americans, quite likely. So
more
there's a great deal that's
problematic
about this legislation.
Well, and it's
violating international law. So by funding Israeli actions, by giving Israel this massive amount of military aid, it will create more tragedy in the region and more hostility to Americans, quite likely. So there's a great deal that's problematic about this legislation.
Well, and it's the largest amount in U.S. history in aid to a foreign country. Now, Senator Rand Paul has voiced his opinion on it. It's very clear. Is there anybody else that we're hearing that's objecting the bill?
Very few, because as we mentioned, almost nobody knows about it. The media, this has been in process.
Very few, because JAiPAC controls both sides of the playing field. Let's go.
Really, it was introduced last March. It was voted on in August. Then there was more voting in September. Now it's before the Senate again because the politicians keep making it even more pro-Israel. So it contains a lot of additional perks for Israel that no one knows about, because despite the fact that now it's before the Senate again because the politicians keep making it even more pro-Israel. So it contains a lot of additional perks for Israel that no one knows about, because despite the fact that it's extremely newsworthy, American taxpayers, many people are cutting back spending because of financial concerns. I think many people would be objecting if they knew about the bill. In addition, many more Americans than before are aware of Israeli actions in Gaza, the systemic discrimination in Israel itself. So many people would object to this bill, I feel, if they knew about it, but almost no one knows about it.
Well, and that's our job to tell people. Now, Rand Paul is objecting it and could filibuster it. How likely, we have about a minute left, so I just want to get your opinion. How likely is this bill to be passed?
Fair use.
It's extremely likely to be.
Let's go.
Moritz Steinschneider invented the term anti-Semitic in 1860. The term would be used to silence all those that dared to expose Jewish crimes. Because of the predominantly Jewish character of the regime, the very first piece of legislation approved by the communist regime was the Anti-Semitism Act in 1917. Anti-Semitism was made a capital crime. An anti-communist was regarded as an anti-Semite.
In 1943, the following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, "When certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them after suitable buildups as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic, and use the prestige of anti-fascist and tolerance organizations."
This ain't a new trick. They've been perfecting this trick for a long time. Let's go.
Regarded as an anti-Semite.
In 1943, the following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, "When certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them after suitable buildups as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic, and use the prestige of anti-fascist and tolerance organizations to discredit them. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind."
When I talk, I had my second book. I had a record with my second book. I think my first book sold something around the world, close to 8 million copies. My second book was not reviewed in any newspaper in North America. Now that's a record. None. No, I'm sorry. I think the guy in the Phoenix Gazette and the people from B'nai B'rith walked in and asked for him to resign. Yeah, because he's an anti-Semite. Now I know what they do because I used to ask them to do it. I mean, when I was in the Mossad, and we had a guy that gave us problems in the U.S., and he was speaking out, and he was talking like Pete talked once and said, Israel is bombing Lebanon with cluster bombs. We say, hey, who's that guy? You know? Pete Makaki, we used to call him. Yeah, which is Pete the cockroach. Because he makes a lot of noise, and you can't get rid of him. So what you do is you get in touch with a guy in the station in New York or in the station in Washington. You say, tell the guys at B'nai B'rith to label him. And of course the campaign starts, and before you know it, the guy's labeled. And he's an anti-Semite. Because that's what we say he is. And that's one stain you cannot wash. Now, it shames me as a Jew to tell you that. But that's the fact. And it's wrong.
You write the truth of what you see in front of you in Israel and the West Bank, you will be savagely targeted. As part of the book, I interviewed the New York Times, The Economist, Reuters, AFP, and I found a common trait. Reuters even has their own special words that we're allowed to use that won't upset the Israelis. And I went there with the view that I'd been in Washington and New York, I would report it as I saw it. But every time I would write about settlements, something that's factual, you get targeted.
So here is a question. Because I just reported this story, right, which is obviously critical of Israel, even though it was actually reported and the persons who broke the story is an Israeli newspaper, Haaretz, right, does that make me an anti-Semite for reporting a story critical of Israelis' foreign policy? The reason I ask this is because according to many people, and even some laws, arguably, that have been passed in places like Texas and Florida, the answer to that question is yes. Yes. Criticizing Israelis' foreign policy can get you in a lot of trouble in the United States, but not in Israel.
The Israeli public relations machine knows that if the views and voices of Jews who disagree with its policies were to become public, it would be impossible to maintain the lie that any criticism of Israel is by definition anti-Semitic. In fact, the accusation of anti-Semitism has been Israel's most effective strategy in silencing dissent, and American journalists in particular have been targets of this tactic.
Any environment in which a journalist or any person steps forward and starts making serious criticism of Israel, of America's relationship with Israel, the unconditional support for Israel, the failure of any serious pressure to be put upon Israel by the United States to prevent the building of further settlements for Jews and Jews only on Arab land. Any suggestion that the war between the Israelis and the Palestinians is a colonial war will be met by a deafening chorus of accusations, slanderous and lying though they are, that the person who brings up that subject is in some form an anti-Semite or a racist. And this remains the constant weapon that is used.
One of the big problems is, and here goes the grenade, Israel. The second you mention the word Israel, the nation Israel, the concept Israel, many in the American press become very defensive. We're not allowed to be highly critical of the state of Israel. And the other thing we're not allowed to do is discuss the notion that Israel and the notion of Israeli interests may in fact be dictating what America is doing. That what we're doing in the Middle East may not be to the benefit of America's national security, but to Israel's national security. But see, we don't want to talk about that because one of the great success stories out there is the pro-Israeli lobby that has successfully enabled themselves to blend the two together so that when we speak of Israeli interests, they say, no, we're speaking of American interests.
Well, you got a lot of criticism for it. How did you deal with all of that criticism?
We have organized lobbyists in favor of Israel. You can't open your mouth. I can call the President of the United States anything in the book, but if you say one thing about Israel and you're off limits.
It's a trick. We all
to blend the two together so that when we speak of Israeli interests, they say, no, we're speaking of American interests.
Well, you got a lot of criticism for it. How did you deal with all of that criticism?
We have organized lobbyists in favor of Israel. You can't open your mouth. I can call the President of the United States anything in the book, but if you say one thing about Israel and you're off limits.
It's a trick. We always use it. When from Europe somebody is criticizing Israel, then we bring up the Holocaust. When in this country people are criticizing Israel.
Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Good morning, AIPAC. Good morning. What an honor.
Who that?
Lillian, congratulations on your outstanding presidency.
Who is that right there? Before we get into that, because y'all don't get that yet. Y'all don't get that yet. Because I know the cops, Ghetto, AIPAC funds the Republicans. All right. Funding both parties, the Intercept article continued. The article from yesterday, AIPAC, spending Congress, elections, Israel. From October of 2024, courtesy of The Intercept. Once again, the name of the article is How Does AIPAC Shape Washington? We tracked every dang dollar. Funding both parties, AIPAC's approach to electoral spending is bipartisan. The group has funded Republican, Democrat, and independent candidates alike. AIPAC supported 233 Republicans with a total of more than $17 million in funds. 152 Democrats received more than $28 million in sum, and 3 independents, Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, Christian Sinema of Arizona, and Angus King of Maine, who got just under $300,000 between them. Let's skip ahead. AIPAC also gave more than $3 million to party committees and organizations on both sides of the aisle, including the NSRC, the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee, Jeff Majority's Fund, and Democracy Engine. AIPAC spent this year on races in every state except Ohio, although the group funded several Ohio candidates in 2023. Can't make it up. Among the places it spent most were New York and California, predictable big money locations with two of the largest delegations in Congress. But outliers like Missouri and Maryland came into play this cycle as United Democracy Project funneled cash to back its preferred candidates. Funneled cash. Put it in through the back door. Pause. Missouri, where AIPAC spent the second most on races this cycle, has only 8 congressional seats but received more than $11.7 million in spending on just one race in which AIPAC backed Wesley Bell ran against Representative Cori Bush. Cori Bush, Democrat of and Maryland, which also has just 8 congressional seats. AIPAC backed candidate Sarah Elfreth, drew $4.2 million in AIPAC money this cycle. And actually, let's hear from Cori Bush about how she thinks this affected her. Give me 1 second. Let's take a quick break. Before we do that, we will be right back, fam.
Attention, please. My name is Uncle Ruckus, no relation. I want to sing y'all a brand new song I just wrote called Don't Trust Them New Niggas Over There. Sing along if you know the words. Don't trust them new niggas over there, leaving they nigga essence in the air. Them happy, nappy head niggas with the fingers on the trigger. Don't trust them new niggas over there.
Are you
fair
sure
use, fair
that
use.
will stop this shotgun?
Man, I'm like the Terminator in this vest.
United States of JAiPAC Part 2. Fair use.
What, you don't believe me? Go ahead. Pull the trigger.
Now, are you sure that...
I said pull that trigger now!
You want to play rough? Okay.
Don't trust them big nostrils over yonder.
Why we can't trust him, Uncle Ruckus?
So much air, it'll make you wonder.
Oh no,
Don't
oh no.
trust them new niggas with their spotty little nigga figures. Don't
with
trust them
little
new
figure.
niggas over there.
Oh man.
I think the N-word is okay as long as they say it.
Facts.
I see trees of green.
Get him, Smokey. Get him, Smokey.
Red
Fair use.
roses too. I see them bloom.
I see him blue too, baby.
For me and you.
Get him, Smokey.
And I think to myself,
what you thinking?
what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Where did that come from?
The license plate says it's from the federal government.
Attention urban poor. The Federal Health Department, in conjunction with the Center for Minority Control, is here today with complimentary flu shots. Complimentary means free.
Free needles? God is good.
Hey, whoa. What the hell, Hop, are you people doing? Have you forgotten all your conspiracy learnings? Listen, the government uses projects to test all kinds of poisons. Syphilis, crack, the McChitlins.
Those chitlins made me mix sick.
Now you see what I'm talking about.
Hold on, everybody. This is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And we, the people. I'm sure there's nothing to fear.
Thank you, Mrs. Stubbs.
How do you know my name?
Because we're your friend. Now come on over here and drop your pants.
No, Muriel, it's a trick.
It's just a flu shot. Don't listen to that fool.
Uh-huh.
Fair use. OpenSecrets.org. Outside spending in 2024 federal election tops $1 billion. Tops $1 billion. OpenSecrets.org. Let's go. Outside spending in the 2024 election cycle has surpassed 1 billion of them things. 1 billion of them things. I said outside spending in this election has surpassed 1 billion of them things, outpacing prior election cycles, according to new Open Secrets analysis of federal campaign finance report. Super PACs and other outside groups that can raise and spend unlimited sums of money, unlimited, have poured about 1.1 billion into 2024 federal elections as of August 15th, nearly twice what similar groups spent over the same period in the 2020 presidential election, when independent expenditures hit all-time record. It's funny that Kamala said she had $1 billion. She spent $1 billion, and these super PACs allegedly spent over $1.1 billion. I'm gonna leave it alone though. Outside spending is outpacing prior election cycles. Cycle to date totals, including spending on independent expenditures, electioneering communications, and communication cost. 1 billion of them things, man. That's literally double what they had to spend in 2022 and double what they had to spend in 2020. Sheesh. And it is like some people say, well, okay, Ghetto, maybe it's just every 4 years they're having to spend more, inflation and blah, blah, blah. You know, inflation definitely has something to do with it. But look, in 2016, 571 million was spent. So less was spent in 2020 than in 2016. Sheesh. And it just jumped to $1 billion. I'm a billionaire. I'm a young money billionaire. More than half of all outside spending during the 2024 cycle, about 585.8 million, has gone into the presidential election, which saw an especially expensive Republican presidential nominating contestant. Contest. Excuse me. Know how to read today. More than half of all the money, about almost 600 million, went into the presidential election, which saw an especially expensive Republican presidential nominating contest. SFA Fund and Never Back Down, the main super PACs aligning with former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, respectively, sank a combined 119.6 million on independent expenditures during the Republican presidential primary. However, the largest spender by far is former President Donald Trump's flagship super PAC, Make America Great Again, Inc. To date, MAGA Inc. has spent about 125.1 million boosting Trump in the presidential election, including nearly 33.2 million attacking his GOP rivals and more than 65.6 million opposing President Joe Biden. Future Forward and American Bridge 21st Century, the first and second largest Democratic hybrid political action committees, or PACs, have spent a combined 74.7 million on the presidential race as of August 15th. Both super PACs pivoted to supporting Vice President Kamala Harris after Biden suspended his campaign last month. So you see the article has a little age on it, but the important information that we're taking from the article, how much money is being spent, is crazy. And this is before Kamala started going crazy with her spending. Outside spending slowed after Haley, Trump's last remaining Republican challenger, bowed out of the presidential race in March. Nikki Haley, excuse me. But independent expenditures continue to outpace the previous election cycles. Very interesting. Look at these PACs. Look at all these PACs. Moving them PACs. Getting them PACs. Fair use.
So take, say, the huge issue of interference and
what you got to say, Noam Chomsky? What you got to say?
The huge issue of interference in our pristine elections. Did the Russians interfere in our elections? An issue of overwhelming concern in the media. I mean, in most of the world, that's almost a joke. First of all, if you're interested in foreign interference in our elections, whatever the Russians may have done barely counts weighs in the balance as compared with what another state does openly, brazenly, and with enormous support.
Who is that? Who is that? That openly, brazenly, and with tons of support can completely interfere and affect the elections of America. Who is that? Noam Chomsky. Talk to us, man.
Overwhelming concern in the media. I mean, in most of the world, that's almost a joke. First of all, if you're interested in foreign interference in our elections, whatever the Russians may have done barely counts weighs in the balance as compared with what another state does openly, brazenly, and with enormous support. Israeli intervention in U.S. elections vastly overwhelms anything the Russians may have done. I mean, even to the point where the Prime Minister of Israel, the Russians may have done, brazenly, and interested in foreign interference in our elections, whatever the Russians may have done, barely counts weighs in the balance as compared with what another state does openly, brazenly, and with enormous support.
Fair use.
Israeli intervention in U.S. elections vastly overwhelms anything the Russians may have done. Vastly intervention in U.S. election intervention. Israeli intervention in U.S. election. Israeli intervention with enormous support. Israeli intervention in U.S. elections vastly overwhelms anything the Russians may have done. I mean, even to the point where the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu,
shout to BB,
goes directly to Congress.
What up, BB?
Without even informing the president, and speaks to Congress with overwhelming applause to try to undermine the president's policies. What happened with Obama and Netanyahu in 2015.
Did that man say he went to go speak to Congress behind Barack Obama's back?
Without even...
Yo, really put your mind around that. Wrap that around your thought bubbles for a minute. How did the prime minister of another country walk into America, didn't ask Barack a god diggly thing, and spoke like the president of this country, demanding what our Congress needed to do? We didn't take him to war. We didn't throw him in prison. We didn't withdraw his pass to be able to come here. He was just here for the United Nations. Shout to BB, man. He walked up in here like a gangster and told us what he was going to do. And Barack Obama didn't do nothing, according to Noam Chomsky. Let him get whatever he wanted. It was get down or lay down, and Barack Obama laid down on the bed, got real comfortable, started breathing, practicing his kegels. Allegedly. Let's go.
Informing the president and speaks to Congress with overwhelming applause.
Spoke to your Congress with overwhelming applause without asking your permission.
Without even informing the president.
Without even asking your permission.
Prime Minister of Israel,
Think about that. Yo, just imagine. Right, just imagine. if you a dad, right, and you run a company. Let's say you run the McDonald's, a very popular McDonald's on a main avenue in your city, right? And your competitor runs the Burger King about 3 blocks over by the train station. Y'all both get very good traction. You buy a couple buses and there's some intersections to some businesses. They buy the train station. They get everybody going to and from the train station. And there's a little bit of flow of traffic over there. So they, y'all both doing y'all thing. Wanted to come address your staff about something. And instead of asking your permission, walk up in your store. This is the manager of Burger King now. Walk up in your McDonald's that you control, that you run, that you operate, and just started having a whole meeting with your staff, your McDonald's staff. And he's the owner and operator, manager, what have you, of Burger King. Now, after you take some hot fries and throw them at him, allegedly, no, I'm not condoning violence or nothing. I'm just saying, after you take the hot, oily fries and after you take those hot, oily fries right out the grease, after you do that, and 2 of your biggest workers that always handle the trash for you push them out the door, you lock the door on them. Y'all might get back to business as usual after y'all clean up the greasy oil from the greasy French fries. But yeah, just imagine that. Imagine being the president of a whole country and somebody ran up in your country and told your country what they was going to do. Give Ukraine the money. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need the money now for Ukraine war with Russia. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like how do you parse just letting that happen? Give you your money now. I'm horrible at Volodymyr Zelensky. You ever notice Vladimir and Volodymyr? Those places are so close. Dudes got the same damn name. This is Gog and Magog, man. This is Gog and Magog. But back to this. Let Noam Chomsky finish cooking about Israel and how we give Israel whatever they want. United States of JAiPAC. Part 2. Let's go.
I mean,
fair use.
Even to the point where the prime minister of Israel, Netanyahu, goes directly to Congress without even informing the president and speaks to Congress with overwhelming applause to try to undermine the president's policies. What happened with Obama and Netanyahu in 2015.
Give me the money. Money's no. Shout out to the Independent. I don't even understand how you let somebody come into your country and just do that. Do you understand? I'm confused. I'm very much confused. I just don't understand letting somebody do that.
All right, Jim, I know you've been trying to get your head around some of the social issues we discussed yesterday.
Fair use. United States JAiPAC Part Deuce.
Okay, well, no, you are confused.
I'm pretty sure you're the one that's confused, but go ahead.
Because you don't grasp the severity of this, and that's why I brought in another young person with disabilities to share his feelings. Thanks for coming in to talk to us, Nathan.
I like apples and bananas.
Me too, bro, me too. Nathan, could you tell Jimmy how you feel when people use the word retarded?
It hurts my feelings because I feel bad. Are you serious right now?
You feel bad, right. You feel like that's a no-no word, right?
That word makes my heart piss its pants.
Okay, wow, that's pretty heavy. Pretty heavy, huh, Jim?
Do you want to ask him what he means by that? Or
not piss his pants.
I am not uncomfortable. I simply care about a horrible, outdated word that is
don't disrespect PC Principle like that.
And equates to intellectual disability with
United States of JAiPAC Part 2. Fair use. I don't understand. I don't understand.
And loneliness and being part part of a voice to stop the R word is not only right, but extremely important.
All right, the OpenSecrets.org. Let's go over some pros, real recipients of some monies. You know what I mean? Now showing the data for all. Summary, right? We're just summarizing all the money these people got from JAiPAC. I'll go back one so you can easily see. Make it even bigger. How's that? How is that, family? Huh? Say I don't do nothing for you. Don't say I don't do nothing for you. I'm gonna put myself right there in the corner. Let's get to it. So Joe Biden. D. Dingleberry. Stop. I'm chilling. I'm cool. Damn it. I said I'm cool, damn it. Joe Biden has received $4,229,598, which is more than all of AIPAC's spending annual budget. Rob Menendez, independent from New Jersey, $2,500,000. We'll just round it. Hillary Clinton, $2,350,000, about $2.4 million. Mark Kirk, Republican, Illinois, $2.3 million. Joe Lieberman. Lieberman. I'll make a Lieberman. With $2 million, I'll make her Lieberman. You know what I'm saying? Stop. Oh, man, they gonna throw me off YouTube. All right. Mitch McConnell, Republican, Kentucky, $1.95 million. Charles Schumer, Chuck Schumer, he know he get whatever he want from these people. This 1.7 million, man, they gave him that to go spend that at Chipotle one day, man. Stop it, Chuck Schumer. We know you getting the money from them. Ted Cruz, $1.7 million. Damn. But I'm seeing Republican, Democrat, Independent. It's not, man, they throwing the money around. John McCain, 1.5 million. Jackie Rosen, Democrat, Nevada, almost 1.4 million. Ron Wyden, Oregon, Democrat, 1.3 million. Carl Levin, Democrat, Michigan, 1.3 million. David Perdue, Georgia, Republican, 1.2 million. Dick Durbin, Democrat, Illinois, 1.1 million. Sherrod Brown. So they throw the money in a brother pocket too. They don't give a god diggly. As long as you down with the agenda, they hit a spender. They gonna spend it if you down with the agenda. You know what I'm saying? 1.1 million almost. Arlen Specter, Democrat, Pennsylvania. I'm seeing a lot of Democrats as we're going down this list. I'm not gonna hold you. Casey Bob, Pennsylvania, 1.1 million almost. Russ Feingold. This nigga be rolling around trying to find gold. God damn. They go throw me off YouTube for that shit. Marco Rubio, Republican, Florida. God damn it, didn't Marco Rubio just get put up in Trump's cabinet? God damn it, Marco Rubio. Lindsey Graham. You can't trust these goddamn slick talking, nice hair having, fine sharp suit wearing, but you just can't trust him. Mitt Romney, not you too, Mitt Romney. Republican, Utah. God, y'all gonna go corrupt Judah. Don't go corrupting Judah. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation we'll have another time. Million. John Tester, Montana, Democrat, million. Raphael Warnock, Georgia, 926,000. Kirsten Gillibrand, New York, 920 bands. Ben Cardin, Maryland, 913. Bro, this just keep going. 281 entries. Let me go to page 12. Oh, that's when they just gave a little bit of money. Damn. They just keep going, Republicans, Democrats. They just giving out. They just throwing the bands around. They throwing the bands around. Who else got some money? And the more money they gave you, of course, it's gonna help you to get your name out there, win your election, get your prestige up. But it's a quid pro quo. Don't nothing come for free in this business. You understand me? Don't nothing come for free in this business. Cory Booker got 800 bands from him. Damn, Cory. Democrat from New Jersey. Damn, Cory. You spent it all on Rihanna too, huh? Get up under her umbrella. Hey. Stop. All right. Yo, allegedly, chill. Oh my God. Amy Klobuchar. Damn, Amy. Start skipping around a little bit. Oh, this is crazy. Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Democrat. Dianne Feinstein. No! Thought you was down with the people, Dianne Feinstein. Damn it. Kamala Harris. Kamala Devi. Oh, I'm doing too much. Harris. 500,000. Damn. Marsha Blackburn, Republican, Tennessee. 500,000. Guys, I don't see how this could be any clearer what's going on here, gang. I don't see how this could be any clearer what's going on here. Richard Blumenthal. Not you too, man. Tim Scott. Damn it, Tim Scott. That's what you get from. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go there. Republican, South Carolina. Damn it. Ron Johnson, Wisconsin. You guys are hurting. You guys are not making this easy, man. Actually, you're making it very easy. Kristen Sinema, Arizona. This ain't got nothing to do. It's bigger than black and white. It's bigger than blue and red. It's all about JAiPAC. Vote my way, then you can get a big pack. We won't go away. You go and vote for JAiPAC every single day. Yeah, you go and vote for JAiPAC. It's bigger than blue and red. Boy, you heard what I said. It's bigger than blue and red. All that arguing is dead. It's bigger than blue and red. Vote my way. You get a big pack. You mess with JAiPAC. Hey. Barack. Bro, what you even running for? They just giving you money just to give it to you? Barry Ciatori. Baron Hibiscus. Baron Hibiscus. Bro, you doing too much. All right. Elizabeth Warren. God damn it. Can't trust none of you. Josh Hawley. No. Can't trust none of you Negroes. Chris Coons. Yes, you are. Democrat, Delaware. Joe Manchin. No, come on. Say it ain't so, Joe. Say it ain't so, Joe. John Fetterman. God. I'm not surprised. Not surprised. Guys, I think we proved the point. Democrats, Republicans. But though I will say, in fairness, I do see a bit of a lean. Even some independents up here. Larry Presler. Definitely see a lean Democrat way. You know, damn, they throwing all this money at all these campaigns, bro. Big ones, little ones, Republicans, Democrats, whoever they want in the seat. It's bigger than blue and red. Niggas heard what I said. It's bigger than blue and red. Hey, yeah, bigger than blue and red. Hey, bigger than blue and red. Bigger than blue and red. Yeah, bigger than blue and red. Take a quick break, because I'm a fool, man. I am absolutely a fool.
All the people with the backwards attitude, pointing fingers, and that's a bad excuse for sitting on your ass when you complain. It's two things that you don't want to change. You ain't got no time for me, and I ain't got no sympathy for you.
Have y'all ran into you, Smokey? I'm trying to clean up this neighborhood, and I thought you could help me by pointing out some of the drug addicts.
Okay, but nowadays, drug addicts have some pretty peculiar names.
You mean nicknames?
Well, street names, like Who's on Crack, Say What's on Smack, and I don't know, freebases.
Well, do you know the fellows' names?
I said, Who's on Crack, Say What's on Smack, and I don't know, freebases.
Well, who's on crack?
Yes.
I mean the fellow's name.
Who?
The guy on crack.
Who?
The crack addict.
Who is on crack?
I don't know.
I don't know, freebases.
Who freebases?
No, who's on crack?
Say what?
No, he's on smack.
Who's on smack?
No, who's on crack?
I don't know.
Freebase!
Shut up, you damn stupid crackhead!
Fair use, family. Fair use, man. I hope you are being entertained and enlightened, and you know, taking some away from this and understanding. Yeah, man, it's that proverbial conversation people be having about two wings of the same bird. But what do you do when it ain't just the wings? It's the wings and the tail, man. Does the tail wag the dog, or does the dog wag the tail? I don't know, but I saw Republicans, Democrats, Independents all on that list of people they donating to, because it's bigger than that. They care not who makes the laws, as long as they control the money. You understand me? Real quick before we get out of here, key races, continuing with this article by The Intercept. While AIPAC supported more races than Democrats. While AIPAC supported more Republicans than Democrats, it spent more on its favorite Democratic candidates. So they're saying Republicans might have got more money overall, but Democratic candidates got individually bigger bags, as we saw with Joe Biden's bag was ginormous. You understand me? Mostly on Bell and George Latimer, ran by AIPAC in primaries against outspoken progressives and squad members Bush and Jamal Bowden. Cori Bush got her 6.6 mil was spent on the opposition. So they spent 6.6 mil opposing her and 3.8 mil supporting him. So about $11 million in total in ads to make him look good and make her look bad. United Democracy Project, which is under AIPAC, spent 5.1 mil making her look crazy and 3.3 mil making him look great. Other groups spent nothing in comparison, man. Jeez, had he not had that money to help him in this race, would he have beat her out? Because the other groups she had supporting had her 1.4 mil up. Let's hear what Cori Bush has to say about it. Fair use.
Congresswoman Cori Bush, thanks so much for joining us on Upfront.
Thanks for having me.
You recently fought a hard battle to keep your congressional seat, ultimately losing out in the Democratic primary to your opponent, Wesley Bell. In your district, historically, incumbents have been pretty safe from challenges from inside the party. But why do you think you faced such a hard challenge?
100%.
because of my position as it relates to Palestinian liberation. I am the lead sponsor of the Ceasefire Now resolution in Congress, and I sponsored that legislation, introduced it with Representative Rashida Tlaib and several others. But not only did I introduce the legislation, but I kept speaking up. I kept raising the issue. We put pressure on the administration. And so because I was out front pushing, I wasn't going to be silenced because of what someone could do to me. And so I believe that AIPAC, this pro-Israel lobby group that, by their own admission, they say that their sole purpose is to elect and support candidates that are unwavering in their support for the far-right Israeli government. And so because I was out front pushing, I wasn't going to be silenced because of what someone could do to me. And so I believe
fair
that
use,
AIPAC,
fair use.
this pro-Israel lobby group that, by their own admission, they say that their sole purpose is to elect and support candidates that are unwavering in their support for the far-right Israeli government. They took that as a threat. Let me say this, if I had not sponsored that legislation, I probably would be returning to Congress in January. They took that as a threat. Let me say this, if I had not sponsored that legislation, I probably would be returning to Congress in January.
And the numbers show that, man, because again, where would he have gotten the money to beat her? He had, about 600,000 in total support right here, total promotion. Wow, these groups did all of this spending in opposition to her. Oh, I'm sorry. This was spending in opposition to her. I'm bugging. I read it the wrong way. Dang. Whew. 6 million opposition, 3.3 in support of him. Man, I read it the wrong way initially. Pardon me, but yeah, I'm sure as an incumbent, she had way more funding initially. Crazy. Let's keep it going.
In light of that logic that you got right in the crosshairs of AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, would you have done anything different?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. My purpose going to Congress in the first place was to be able to speak up and stand up for those who are the most vulnerable in our communities, to be able to fight for justice and freedom, and that doesn't have borders. But also, this was work that, I had been working on prior to entering Congress. This work with me goes back to the Ferguson uprising in 2014, 2015. So I ran on, ending the occupation and supporting Palestinian liberation. So to go into Congress and then to be faced with bombs dropping on a whole population of people and to not say anything? Yeah. Absolutely not. I had to speak up.
That makes sense. There are people, though, who say that came at the expense of the district. That I remember reading a Washington Post article a while back that was sort of saying, there are people who say you're putting your personal politics above your district's interests. People point to missed congressional votes, etc. They say Gaza wasn't really it.
I'd argue her personal politics would have been her taking the money and being quiet, but I'm gonna let Hart Lamont Hill. Chill. Why'd I go to? Oh my God, Hart Lamont Hill. What? Yo, they gonna throw me off YouTube for this one. Jesus. All right, never mind. Chill out. Let's keep it going.
The people in your district just didn't feel supported. What do you say to that?
It's a lie. Let me say this: the whether it was the media or just what was coming across through the ads, AIPAC was 100% deceptive. They distorted the truth. The information that they put out was it was lie after lie after lie. They had to run on, oh, she had this many missed votes when I was at home with COVID. Why didn't one commercial out of the multi-million-dollar lies that they put out, why didn't one speak anything about Israel or Gaza. Nothing did. So if you're so strong and you're so right about what you're doing and you believe, why not speak to it?
Gang, get out of here. We'll be.
Thank you for coming. I'll see you in hell.
We'll be back next week, family. We'll be back soon with the rest of this family. Peace and blessings. We will be back with Corey Bush and the rest of these interviews and the rest of this dope stuff. The United States of JAiPAC Part Deuce. We out of here. Tap in, gang. His Ghetto Point of View at Gmail and support. $. His Ghetto Point of View. $. His Ghetto Point of View. Love to the tribe. We out of here.